Hi, everybody. This is Jana D, the PT. As a licensed physical therapist, I thought it would be really interesting to pick apart my trip to the emergency room. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my symptoms. I'm going to show you what the emergency room physician assistant did, and then I'm going to tell you about my lessons that I learned. All right, so I go to the emergency room because I had sudden high blood pressure of 152 over 107. My blood pressure tends to run about 111 over 68. I had a headache behind my left eye. I vomited going into the emergency room. I am a working mom, and I took a COVID test before I went to the emergency room, and it was negative. Okay, so my emergency room physician assistant diagnosed me with anxiety. He offered me a Valium drug, um, did a chest x ray and blood work, and said I did not have a heart attack. Yet I still had symptoms when I left the emergency room 6 hours later. Okay, that was pretty disheartening. I even was lied to by the nurse and the PA about the Valium because they wanted to give it to me so they could do a nasal swab. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. A nasal swab? I already did a COVID test before I left here. Like your COVID test is not going to be any more different than what I had. That physician assistant also stated that my blood pressure cuff must have been inaccurate. That my blood pressure really can't be that high. And I said, but I took my blood pressure throughout the day. I alternated hands. I watched my mechanics. I mean, like, you guys, I do blood pressure for people all the time. Like, I mean, I just wasn't buying it. I wasn't buying it. But frustrated after spending 6 hours away from my children, inconveniencing my friends to come with me to the emergency room while my husband had the kids. Okay, what are my lessons that I learned? Gender bias. Okay, I'm sure that if a guy came in with similar things, that they would have run or done more things than to offer a Valium. Okay, how important it is to bring an advocate with you. I am so blessed to have friends who would question some of the lying that was going on in the emergency room about Valium and doing nasal swabs and, sending me home, and I still had symptoms. I mean, like, yeah, after 6 hours, my blood pressure may not still be 152 over 107, but I still felt crappy. Okay. Another lesson I learned was, yes, you can say no to meds if you want. You do not have to take things just because the physician assistant says, hey, let's have you take a Valium. I mean, you don't know anything about me. What? And another lesson learned is how important it is to get a second opinion. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, given that I still had symptoms when I left the emergency room, I mean, I was pretty disheartened, okay? But then when you start putting some amazing women together who are medical professionals, you can start to decipher into what probably was going on, which actually turned out to be, 90%. It was probably dehydration, okay? It's just so sad to see how this visit went for me, okay? And on top of it, that I'm a medical professional and that this crappy experience can happen to me, as I know that it happens to others because I hear it when I see people as a client. All right, so if you've had similar things, drop it down in the comments below. If you like this video, go ahead and press like, share, subscribe, tell your friends and neighbors. Janet D, the PT.